Hi, Ultimate Bushido here, and here's another simple and straight about the artillerist. I've done 700 hours of gameplay with this class, and I pretty much know the ins and outs of what it can and cannot do. So if you're interested in making this as your ult or your new main, this is the video for you. Let's go over the combat stats. You mostly want to do specialist and swiftness. Now the reason why my combat stats do not look like that is because in order for me to get the engravings for at cheap gold and at a decent price, I had to go a little bit to the side that I didn't want to. But it's all in good faith. I still do a good amount of damage. The reason why you want to go specialist is just to increase your the firepower effectiveness, your bombardment skill. So the more specialists you have, the more it builds up your signature gauge, and the more damage you do when you're in barrage mode, which is your signature. The reason why you want to go swiftness is because you are pretty slow. You can barely dodge mechanics, and when you're having increased swiftness, you are allowing yourself to move at a faster speed and you're able to dodge mechanics just by simply walking. Rolling is your last ditch resort, so just go in swiftness and you'll be at a faster attack speed. The goal is to reduce the amount of lock animations you're going to be in, so you can do damage while you're moving and only being locked for maybe like a second or two. If you can get the specialist specs about 30% and have the swiftness percent about 70%, then you are solid. You won't need to go into crit because the artillerist specializes in the crit damage department, so you're always guaranteed 50% if you go this route for engravings that I do. As for the engravings, I do firepower enhancement, I do keen blunt, cursed all. You can do hitmaster. Cursed all and hitmaster are both basically the same. It's just that Cursed Doll is a lot cheaper on my server, and I didn't want to spend 10,000 gold. So I'm basically getting the same benefits of a Hitmaster, just only got a downside of reduced healing, but I'm always using the elemental, so I barely ever even notice the reduced healing to myself. Adrenaline is also another one that I use, mainly because I'm spamming a lot with this class, so it's always up 24/7. I love it. So what the adrenaline does is increase my attack rate or crit rate after I hit like I think 5 stacks of it. No, 6 stacks of it. It increased my crit rate by 15, and it also increased my attack power by 1% just by using my abilities like 6 times in tangent and keeping the stacks up. I'm going to show you a combo and ways how to keep the stack up and how you just consistently keep the damage up. The reason why I do firepower as the class engraving because it gives you a 20% negative damage reduction. I would use grudge, but I would have used it as my 5th. I currently don't want to use it over cursed doll as of right now. But yeah, as you're increasing your signature gauge, you get more crit rate. So 30, and then 35 and 40. So if you put 40% plus 15%, you're already sitting at 55% crit rate. So now you just got to you're over 50%. So now you just got to do the crit damage. Henceforth, why I have a keen blunt where I'm doing 50% more crit damage, and I am rocking the oath from what do you call it? What do you got? Argos. I'm rocking the oath from Argos, which allows me to do even more crit damage, and then it also gives me more increased crit rate if someone else is rocking the other set. So you're talking about 100% more crit damage. So you're sitting at let's see, 200 and something. Let's go down. 250 of crit damage, and you're always going to be at 50% crit rate, but not at the start of the fight. But as you're going through the fight, you're going to have 50%. So I'm gonna show you we're going to go over the skills and why I choose them, and the skills of why I didn't choose those, and then I'll show you the combos and how they work. Alright, let's go over the skills. So, Enhanced Shell, when you're beginning as your ult, Enhanced Shell, you can use this as your main dot damage in the beginning. Freezing Shell, it's pretty horrible. I think it's terrible for PvE. I don't use it. Gatling Gun is it's good at the start of your progression from 1 to 50, but I would throw it away later for Horde Barrage. Just because you're in a lock animation and your goal is to reduce the lock animation and just be on the move, because a standing still artillerist is almost a dead artillerist in most regards. The Gatling Gun's great for PvP, and I think it's only great for PvP only. PvE, you just don't do it. If you're progressing to 1 to 50, that's fine, but once you get the forward barrage, you don't want to use it. And use that as a replacement. Buckshot, it's great for getting weak points, I think. Yeah, it's good for getting weak points. You can put a weak point on it. I don't use Buckshot. Think of Buckshot as a shotgun, but the shotgun has a lock animation. Forward Barrage is an instant shotgun in my technical sense. So don't use Buckshot unless you want to. See, this is my opinion. I just hope that you guys can see how I see things, and you can base your gameplay off of the way I do things. Howitzer, it's good from 1 to 50. I mean, from your progression to 50, but I clearly would not use it unless you're using PvP, which is great for 3v3s because you can peel for your teammates. Napalm is one of your core abilities that you'll be using in a combo. So what Napalm does, is your counter, which is great, but it does frontal damage. So if you counter somebody, you hit them in the front, it's good. You don't have to hit them in the front. Artillerist is great for staggering. It's great for weak point sometimes. But not all, but it doesn't specialize in weak points. So you got a little bit of both, so I throw some destruction grenades every now and then. So Napalm, you either go with the weak point enhancement, making your weak point to level 2, and you have your artillerist focus on doing weak point damage. But most of the time, bosses, people you fight, they always have like a hidden stagger. So you want to do target focus, increase stagger for 20% for 4 seconds. So I'll be always passing stagger checks because of this napalm shot. And if you have a little bit of extra some points, you can increase and put in increased crit rate. So when you're at the end, when you're at your full combo at 50% or 55 crit rate, your napalm's a guaranteed crit, which is a 250, which is great. The next thing is military rocket. It should be your one and only huge animation lock. I don't use it unless I have my roll available, because my roll can cancel any animation. So what I use is Flame Rocket, Quick Barrage. So it increases the amount of rockets, or increase the rocket's firing speed. So with Quick Barrage, it reduces the amount of time of me sitting there, but it increases the amount of rockets fired. And then you get access denied, and it increases the rockets by even more. So we're looking at, I don't know how many rockets, but it's just a shit ton. We're just right there. It's a good example. Here's a napalm. I'll show you the combo on how you can use the napalm to your advantage to pass the stagger checks. The next one you want to use is Flamethrower. You want to have this on a low cooldown because you'll be using this ability a lot. You want to do range. The reason why I don't do shield, because you don't ever want to use this ability when you're not using this ability to get hit. You're using this ability to poke them. You're always going to constantly be attacking while everybody's running away. You'll be like barely out of their reach, and what you do is just you hit them with a flamethrower, and like everybody runs away because he's doing like some sweeping attack, and you're just over here just standing here, blah 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 blah, blah, done. and just attack increasing. The reason why you do the Azura Flame is to reduce the animation lock. Even though you're moving, you're still not moving at the fastest that you would do if you didn't cast an ability. I think. But you do more damage if you do the Azure Flame, and its duration is less. So you'll be just pushing out the damage, and then you're done. And then you just running around and doing your other combos. Scorching Blaze, it just increase. You just don't do it. You could do it, but you're increasing the amount of time you are just standing there doing the flamethrower when you can just have it one and done just by just. So you're saving yourself 2 seconds by saving yourself. I don't know how many seconds we're going for. Okay, last 4 seconds. You're saving yourself 2 seconds just by going the Azure Flame. You're doing almost more damage than the Azure Flame. It's the tick damage that you're looking at. But why am I still doing this? You know, I just go the Azure Flame, get it out the way, boom, fire. I'm done. As for the Scorching Blaze, it's good for PvP. But see, I'm still here. I'm like, what am I doing? I could have been just one and done. So that's why I do the Azure Flame. Instant, done, and it does more increased damage. Because it's a shorter duration. Swing, you don't ever use this unless you're doing PvP. My god, it's a godsend. I love swing for PvP. Air Raid, one of your main damage dealers. It is you want the big one. You want the quick firing because you want to reduce the amount of animation lock you get, and then you want Lightning Barrage to increase crit rate. So essentially, all you're doing is planting it, and it comes down and boom, does a substantial amount of damage. Sometimes it does a crit, sometimes it doesn't. But you're trying to reduce the animation lock. So say there's a million. You don't want to. You want to use this ability whenever the boss does an attack and he's animation locked. So you'd be like, oh, I'm animation locked too. Plant, boom. It's as an artillerist, you got to think ahead and plant your bombs. Sometimes you're gonna miss the bombs. Don't be discouraged. It just means you're not gonna get MVP. That's all it is. There's nothing wrong with missing your bombs. It happens. They move quick. I have extra points, so I'm doing level 3 turret. You don't have to do level 3 turret, but what you want for the turret is the armored destruction. Now, the reason why I said enhanced shell can be your replacement, can be your 1 to 50 ability, because this one also has armored destruction. But with turret, it stays out there and it keeps the dot on them when you have this armored destruction. So you just plant this down, and they'll just keep applying this dot. And if you put the bleed ruin on it, it also applies the dot and ruin. And you see how it's still applying it, and I can just place another one, and it'll apply it again and again. So you can have this up 24/7, this dot, as long as you're keeping up with your turrets and you're just placing them out as they disappear. Enhanced turret would be increasing the damage, which you want to do. I used to do quick dispatch to reduce the animation lock, but it's literally a millisecond, and you're just wanting to just increase the damage. You'll be fine. Jump Rodge, I don't even touch it. It's not even worth it. It's fun to use if you want to use it. It's up to you. I used to use it in PvP. It's hilarious when I used to jump Rodge and you fly away. Plasma Storm, it's good for PvP, not really good for PvE. You can use it, but there's no point in using it. There's other abilities that are way better. Gravity Explosion, really good on Chaos, really good at Chaos Dungeons, and Chaos Dungeons only. We wouldn't use it on PvP, wouldn't use it on PvE. So if you want to rock this with your PvE or your Chaos Dungeons, then you can rock this Gravity Explosion, which is really, really good for doing AoEs. But you have like 5 abilities that's already AoE, so why do you need a 6th? Now, the reason why Forward Barrage is your go-to, your replacement for your Q, it is basically a shotgun. It increases your firepower meter, your specialty, just by a click of a button. It does. It literally almost does the exact same damage as Gatling gun, in my opinion, by just. But you're not in animation lock. Just by pressing Q, one and done. Just boom! I just did the whole damage of a Gatling gun session, just like that. That's how I feel like it is, and it just charges up your fire meter at the same time. Sometimes I hit people in the front with this. Sometimes I don't. As long as I put the shotgun out there every now and then, it increases my firepower meter, and I can go up and do more damage. So what you do with the Ford Barrage is the firepower control, increase crit damage. So there's chances for it to do 350, no, 400 damage more. So that's what I'm saying. I was like, dude, you just spam this out there every now and then, and you're just doing as much or even more than a Gatling gun animation. It's like a good shotgun. I do put dancing explosions, so it does hit the sides a bit more. So sometimes you can guarantee a two hit over a one hit, which is very lovely. It hits twice instead of once. See, 1, 2. I'm gonna do it again. Nope, that didn't happen. But some of the times, but not all the times, whenever you press the Q, it'll double hit, and that's a plus. Your main damage dealer is Homing Barrage and Air Raid. Like I said, you want Lightning Barrage, Quick Fire, and Big One for Air Raid. Homing Barrage is like your second. No, excuse me. Most damage ability. You want to reduce the delay so it'll land at the exact time as Air Raid. I do put more damage against pushing you foes, so bosses will take more damage. You could do the Law of the Jungle if you're running Chaos Dungeons. It'll do more damage against normal foes. I want to do crit rate because you're already there at that threshold for crit rate. Might as well do more damage. Power Bomb is the nuke. You want Power Bomb. It is great. It contaminates the area, and it does more dot damage when you land. It's just like an actual nuke. Homing Barrage is your nuke. And then you just put a cherry on top with... You put the frosting on top with Air Raid, and then put the cherry on top with Napalm Bomb. Energy Field. Energy Field is a must, and is your level 50 ability. It does take a lot of MP, so what you want to do is have the try for it for no MP cost. And you want to increase the duration of it, and you have to be a little selfish here and get the solid shield, which gives you push immunity because if they attack you while you have your shield and you're getting staggered or you're getting thrown around, it's because you don't have the solid shield. There's other classes that are way better at giving shields to others, so just go with the solid shield. I don't put any little runes on my my specialty. I think I should go over the specialty builder and how it works. So as you attack and do damage, it fills up. It'll be down at 0. If we can just get this down to 0. So I guess I won't get it down to 0. So you'll be sitting at 0, and all you have to do is heat it up by attacking, using your flamethrower, and then as you're increasing your attack, you'll notice that you're getting this buff right here called Firepower Enhancement. That's because of your engraving Firepower Enhancement, which will increase the amount of damage your crit rate you're doing. So I don't think I went over Flamethrower. Your Flamethrower got quick fire. Yeah. So your Flamethrower is your main firepower increase because it increases the heat. So just by spamming your Flamethrower, it increases it by a lot. And then you throw in your Q every now and then. You see how that increases because you got firepower in control. And then rockets also increase that. So as it's filling up, once it hits the yellow marker, you're now doing more big dick damage. You're now in firepower 1. Now you're at 30% increased damage. And if you keep your adrenaline up, you're even more increased crit rate. And as this fills up, you'll get increased firepower. So now we are at firepower 3 because well, we're at fire, power 3, and you're now increased more damage, and you're at more crit rate. As you're getting closer, you're now in the purple. I'm in the purple now. I'm getting increased damage to level 2, so I'm now doing 20% more damage, and now I have a 35% more increase rate. So the more this fills up, the more damage you do. So that's when, and then when you reach the max, you can go into your ult form, which is very lovely. But before I go in my ult form, I'm at my max potential, and I use my homing barrage, my air raid, and your napalm. The thing is, when you reach your max potential or your max heat, you have at least 20 seconds to put out the damage that you want, high damage crit out, before it cools down itself. So as you can see, it's now counting down 20 seconds because I reached the max limit. So that's when you start putting out your hard-hitting abilities like the air raid and napalm, and boom, it does the damage. And then you switch up to your turret stance, and you start doing the damage with that. And before it ends, your firepower ends, you put all of this damage out, and now you're on a cooldown. And then you're just waiting for it to reset. You could heat this back up fast enough before this cooling applies, but you won't be able to go back up until the cooling. Now, as for your going up, this mode here, it makes you stationary, but there's a way to make it where you don't take any damage. It's a nice little trick. I do this all the time whenever I go in the stance, because you always don't want to be in the stance unless you're ready to go big hard and big damage. So you want to start with your barrage, which is your dot damage. Like it reduces the defense of your opponent. So it would be like the turret here. It's like summoning your turret, but you start off with your Q. You start off with your Q, and then you do your barrage because that's some extra damage. And then to keep your adrenaline up, you throw in the shield mid barrage, and then you end it with a giant laser. And after you end with giant laser, you throw one more Q, and then you press the ability again, and you get out of it, and you're on the move. So what I like to do whenever I'm in the max state, I napalm, air raid, or air raid, napalm, homing, shield up, and then when you shield up, you go into the barrage mode. You have that shield that you press, your energy field, transferred over in your stationary field, and now you can have double shield if you like. So that also reduces the damage you'll take. So you have the potential to have not only your main shield while on foot, but you'll also have your other shield while in turret stance to have almost no damage while you're stationary, while you're going crazy turret mode. But if you're going the adrenaline, the thing is you got to keep the adrenaline going. So as you can see down here, next to my abilities, I'm now at 5 stacks. It's at 6 stacks now. I want to keep it at 6 stacks. So now I'm attacking. And then as I'm going, I'm just spamming out all of my abilities, doing the whole honing air raid and napalm combo. And then I energy field up, Q, and then barrage. Now the adrenaline's about to run out, and then I activate my shield again. And then it resets the adrenaline, and then you just laser away. Activate another Q to reset the adrenaline, and then and this is how you just keep the adrenaline going. The adrenaline keeps going, and you'll never lose it. This is how you do the combo. Eventually, you will run out of mana as you're doing this combo, so just do basic attacks. There's nothing wrong with basic attacks. And then do an ability the moment you chance you get it when the empty happens. So the reason why you do the whole combo in this turret form, I call it mana regeneration. All these abilities that you do in your turret form do not cost any mana, so you're getting your mana back, so you can do more damage while on foot. So if you're out of mana, it's because you haven't been going into turret form a lot. So you need to go into turret form go hard or go home, and just do this, and then just activate your shield, keep the adrenaline, and then do laser, and then end it with a Q. So it's Q W E, it's Q W R E, and then Q is what you do on your turn. There, there. This laser. You will come back. By the time then, drop it in, go back down, and then just spam your explosive. Your main damage dealing is going to be your homing barrage, your air raid, and your napalm combo. Your homing barrage does high stagger. Your air raid does also medium stagger. So those are your two main staggers. And then your napalm puts a cherry on top by making stagger damage increase by 20%, which is very lovely to pass stagger checks in an instant by a snap of a finger, because you just put these two out, napalm, and then boom, it takes both those explosions with 20% increased stagger, which is very lovely. You're always passing stagger checks. When you that's the reason why artillerist is known for passing stagger checks. Gun lancers do too. Let's see. Let's go over ruins. Why I chose. I chose Rage for my napalm shot because after I use my combo, I want to increase my movement speed to run away. Gale Wind on my multi rocket. Reason why? Reducing the animation lock. I'd rather shoot the whole rocket load in like a second than almost not a second. Flamethrower. It is your ability that increases your specialty meter. So you want to put it well so you can build more firepower. Air raid, overwhelming damage. Get that stagger. Bleed on the turret. Forward barrage, it reduces my cooldown. So every time I spam my Q, not only does it's a slap in the face with a shotgun, it also reduces my cooldown to even throw out more homing barrages in air rage. Homing barrage, legendary overwhelm. So I am passing these skill checks. And for the energy field, purity. 70%, so whenever I have a dot or a negative effect on me, I will instantly get it removed almost all the time, not all the time. Sometimes I don't get it removed, sometimes I do, but when I go up to my turret stance, I don't want fire taken on me. And the only way to get that purity is by doing your adventure tomes, which would be the 5th one, right here. Make sure you do your adventure tomes, guys. Yeah, it really does help a lot. And that's why those are the engravings. The stats are supposed to be specialist and swiftness, but to get the rings that I need for my engravings, I had to sacrifice to get a little bit of duration. A little fun little thing to know is whenever a boss gets stagger, if you ever get the opportunity to do your W while the boss is staggered, you'll do even more damage. We're talking about a 30% increase more damage to foes that are in a staggered state. So that's why I go up whenever a boss is down. It does more damage. And as for the awakening abilities, I only do the heavy turret. Do not use the missile barrage, only for PvP. PvE, missile barrage. Some of you guys will not know that your turret has a second feature, which will do its last final shot, almost its last final shot, but it's going to do crazy amount of damage before it goes away if you press the ability or before it goes away. So as you can see down here with your heavy turret, once you press it, it'll change to this icon called the electronic cannon. It means it's going to do even more damage. As long as you press this before it leaves, it'll do that crazy amount of damage. So I press it now, it goes boom, and then boom, see? Crazy. And it's going to keep doing its standard attack. The main thing you want to do with your awakening is to land this heavy turret ult. Just throwing it out there is not enough. You got to make sure you land this too. It's going to attack the closest or whatever it's targeting at that time with the heavy damage. So if you have like minions like behind it and you press this ability, it'll sometimes do its heavy laser at the minion and not towards the boss. You can't really point this, you can't really tell the turret to shoot it in a general direction. You have to just pray that he shoots it at the right target that you're asking for. But sometimes I just press, tell him to go big dick in the morning or in the beginning, and then now you are doing the, now he's just standing there just doing the extra damage. So I'm gonna show you how I do the whole rotation. How I do the whole rotation. I will put the timer in. Here we go. Alright, and now we're at full stack from here. Full stack. Boom. Turn up. Shield. Boom. Alt with W, and then I'm barraging him at the same time. Activating my shields, keeping that adrenaline up, and going and going. Air raid napalm right off the bat. Oh man, it's just so juicy. And throwing out these turrets again. Now I'm on a cooldown wait. Napalm every now and then. Air raid homing. Napalm. Flamethrower. Rocket launcher. Boom. There you go. That's the whole combo. I did over 39 million damage, and I'm at 655 DPS per second. 655,000 damage per second. And that's how I run the artillerist. I'm having a blast. I do Fulton solo with ease because of it. But yeah. As for gems, just focus on multi-rocket, air raid, flamethrower, reduce cooldown and energy field, forward barrage, reduce the cooldown, homing barrage, increase damage with your barrage, main cannon. Mostly that's going to come when you're getting some of that specialist. I may have to re-roll some of these rings and stuff so I can get some more specialists, because my goodness, these domination and endurance are really not helping. But I don't know if I really want to spend that 4,000 gold just to get there. I don't make that much income. I hope you do like this video. It really means a lot if you like and subscribe. It makes me want to push out more content. Just leave something in the comments and let me know how you feel about the artillerist. Maybe I should play it a different way, or maybe this helped you, or maybe another video I should probably go over. Talking to you guys on YouTube is really makes me feel happy, knowing you guys are enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the game. I'm having a blast, and I will see you guys in the next video. Ultimate Bushido, and out.